The moment I found out, everything changed. I was sitting on my couch, staring blankly at the TV as my mind wandered to the conversation I had just had with my best friend, Maria. She had been telling me about her cousin's wedding and how she was thinking of attending, and that's when I saw it, an email on my phone from the wedding venue we had chosen. My heart sank as I read the name on the confirmation, Emily. At first, I thought it was just a mistake. Maybe they had booked another couple with a similar name. But as I scrolled through the email, my eyes landed on the date and the details of the ceremony. It was for next weekend. Our weekend. The one we had planned to get married. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. My mind was racing, but my body felt numb. I could not breathe. I could not think. All I could do was stare at the screen, my eyes burning with tears. I thought back to all the times Brandon had been working late or out with friends and how I had just accepted it, how I had made excuses for him. But now, it all made sense. The deleted text messages, the browser history wiped clean, the sudden lack of interest in intimacy. My mind flashed back to when we first met. He was my soulmate, or so I thought. We were young and in love, and I had given him my heart. We had built a life together, and I had trusted him with everything. But now, as I sat on that couch, I realized I did not know him at all. I tried to call him, but it went straight to voicemail. I texted him, but he did not respond. I was left sitting there, feeling like my world was crashing down around me. As I sat there, I thought about all the red flags I had ignored. He had stopped being interested in intimacy with me, and I had just assumed it was stress or fatigue. He had become emotionally distant, and I had told myself he was just busy with work. But the truth was, I had been in denial. I had been so caught up in our relationship, in the life we were building, that I had ignored the signs. And now, it was too late. I thought about my father, who had always been protective of me. He would want to confront Brandon, to hurt him for what he had done. But I knew that wouldn't solve anything. I needed to face him, to confront him myself. As I sat there, I felt a sense of determination rising up inside me. I would get to the bottom of this. I would find out what was going on, and I would make him pay. But for now, I just sat there, staring at the screen, feeling like my heart had been shattered into a million pieces. I took a deep breath and let the tears fall. I let the pain wash over me, and I let myself feel the anger and the betrayal. And then, I saw it. A text message from an unknown number. Meet me at the coffee shop on Calle Ocho at 3 in the afternoon. Come alone. My heart skipped a beat as I realized it was from his ex-wife, Sophia. I had met her a few times, and she had always seemed nice. But now, I wondered if she was involved in this too. I decided to go, to see what she had to say. As I got ready to leave, I felt a sense of trepidation. What would she tell me? What would I learn? But I knew I had to do it. I had to know the truth. As I walked to the coffee shop, I felt a sense of determination. I would get answers, and I would make sure he paid for what he had done. The sun was beating down on me, but I felt cold. I felt empty. I felt like I was walking through a nightmare, and I could not wake up. But as I approached the coffee shop, I saw Sophia sitting outside, sipping on a coffee. She looked up and saw me, and I could see the pity in her eyes. "Hey," she said as I sat down. "I am so sorry you are going through this." I looked at her, my eyes welling up with tears. "What do you know?" I asked, my voice shaking. Sophia took a deep breath. "I know he has been doing this for years. I know he has been lying to you, manipulating you. I know he has been with other women, and I know he has been pretending to work when he is really with them." My heart sank. I felt like I had been punched in the gut again. "Why are you telling me this?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Sophia looked at me, her eyes filled with compassion. "Because I do not want you to go through what I went through. I do not want you to be hurt like I was hurt." I nodded, feeling a sense of gratitude towards her. "Thank you," I said, my voice shaking. As we talked, I learned more about Brandon's pattern of behavior. I learned that he had been doing this for years, long before we met. I learned that he was a master manipulator, and that he had been using me for his own gain. But as I sat there listening to Sophia, I realized something. I realized that I was strong. I realized that I could get through this. I realized that I did not need him. And with that realization, I felt a sense of empowerment. I felt a sense of strength. I stood up, looking at Sophia. "Thank you," I said again. "Thank you for telling me the truth." As I walked away from the coffee shop, I felt a sense of determination. I would confront him, and I would make him pay. I would get my life back, and I would move on. But for now, I just walked. I walked, feeling the sun on my face, feeling the wind in my hair. I walked, feeling alive. And as I walked, I knew that I would be okay. I knew that I would get through this. I would survive. I would thrive. I would rise from the ashes, stronger and more powerful than ever before. The question was, what would I do next? Would I confront him in public, or would I do it privately? Thought of an explosive public confrontation crossed my mind. My father would love that. But I was not sure if that was the right move. Not yet, at least. I decided to go home and think about it. I would figure out my next move, and I would make sure it was the right one. As I approached my house, I saw Brandon's car parked outside. My heart sank. He was home. What did he want? Was he going to try to lie to me again? I took a deep breath and walked inside. Hey, he said, looking up from the couch. What's going on? I looked at him, my eyes cold. I know, I said, my voice firm. I know everything. His expression changed, and for a moment I saw a glimmer of fear in his eyes. But then, he smiled. I'm sorry, he said, standing up. I can explain. I laughed, a cold, mirthless sound. Explain? I repeated. There's nothing to explain. And with that, I walked away, leaving him standing there, looking confused and scared. But this was not over. Not by a long shot.